March Madness is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. This year, the women will be under the March Madness brand for the first time ever. There have been many controversies when comparing the facilities between the men and the women's tournaments the past 2 years. We spoke with High Point University women's basketball head coach Chelsea Bansbury about her opinion on this situation, as she has had first-hand experience on it. We are just a few hours away from seeing the High Point Panthers play basketball again. They have been red hot lately as they are 7-1 in their last 8 games. They're going to have a good test tonight as they face Queens, a team that has recently transitioned into Division I basketball, previously being a Division II team. Jaden House, High Point University's star basketball player, has announced that he's transferring to the University of Rhode Island. But what led him to make this decision?
For college basketball players like Jaden House, the transfer portal can be a tough decision. But for Jaden, it was an opportunity to find the perfect fit for his game.
When I first entered, I had a little bit of jitters, not because I didn't think I would, be able to go somewhere, but just about it's a big decision. So I just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision. But, for me, obviously my situation, it wasn't that long, but, when you know, you know.
With the new NIL rules in place, Jaden had more options than ever before. When asked about NIL, Jaden said that it has changed the way college athletes are going about transferring.
Yeah, definitely. As much as people try to say, for me, it didn't matter at first, because, obviously I wasn't really getting the NIL deals and things like that here at High Point. But when I put my name in the portal, it became a factor because of just the numbers that was being thrown around.
Jaden, like many athletes, are a fan of the new transfer portal. Jaden believes that this gives players the opportunity to leave teams, just like coaches have been able to leave in the past.
I feel like the transfer portal now give us that same option, with being able to be immediately eligible. Like with my situation, my head coaches, they parted ways. So if the transfer portal wasn't there or wasn't open, I would have to, I wouldn't be able to explore other options. I would have to sit through and, who knows what the next coach will bring in. The next coach might not like how I play.
Jaden's stats speak for themselves. He was 13th in percentage of possession used and 13th in fouls drawn per 40 minutes in all of Division I basketball. He is looking to play a similar role when he arrives on the URI campus in the fall.
Obviously I'm going to be playing with, playing against better competition, playing, with a little bit, better players. So who knows what my usage rate will be next year. Obviously with me being kind of a ball dominant guard, I can play off the ball, definitely, but hopefully, like I said, I'll still be able to play my game.
It's safe to say that the transfer portal and NIL are changing the game for college athletes. All of us at Q News wish Jaden House all the best at URI and in his future endeavors. From Q Sports, I'm David Pergamo. The High Point University men's basketball program has always had well-known and respected coaches, from Hall of Fame coach Tubby Smith to now his son Gigi Smith. But what isn't talked about is their amazing coaching staff behind them. I sat down with assistant coach Keith Gatlin about his amazing journey in the basketball world and how he became a Panther.
Keith Gatlin has done it all in the basketball world. Gatlin was named a McDonald's All-American in high school, played in 4 NCAA tournaments at Maryland, and won an ACC championship, and even was the leading scorer playing professionally against Dirk Nowitzki in the German Bundesliga.
I took it for granted then, but now being coaching is so hard to get there. I really appreciate it now more than I did being in the moment because, we were going every year.
Gatlin is regarded as one of the best passers in Maryland history. Gatlin humbly credits this to playing with such amazing players like his college roommate Len Bias. Len Bias, who was very close with Keith Gatlin, sadly passed away of a drug overdose in 1986. Gatlin says that it took 20 years and an ESPN 30 for 30 for people to finally stop ridiculing him and his teammates.
All of us on the team was ridiculed as bad guys, but, like I said, we got out the college degree, we didn't drink or smoke. It was just an isolated situation. So I think over time, people really understood after the 30 for 30 special that came out, that people really understood that, hey, you guys had nothing to do with it. It was an isolated incident. So I think he's being remembered now really good.
When asked about becoming a head coach in the future, Keith Gatlin said it is not a priority and he is focused on the Panthers. It's safe to say that we're lucky to have him. From Q Sports, I'm David Pergamo.
Back to back to your time at the car dealership, what would you say is the biggest thing that you learned at the car dealership that helped your career as a whole, or just life skills that you learned?
Yeah, it was a great learning experience, and I truly would not be where I am today without that. I really wouldn't. And the number one thing that I learned, Dave, was to ask for what I want, because the worst that people could say is no.
So when would you start preparing? Would it be like right at, say, like on Sunday it was Bucks Packers, for Monday's Bills Chiefs game? Would you start preparing on Monday, or would it be right after the game on Sunday?
Right after. I try to do it, and I don't want to say flush it, because you got to remember where you've been and you got to remember what's happened in these games to a certain degree.